Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Welcome to this new session in the psychology of Qur'an, where we're gonna continue discussing Surah Al-Kahf in the last part of Surah Al-Kahf, and also we're gonna summarize some of the benefits or wisdom that we can use in our daily life, inshallah, as advised by Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So, for the people who doesn't know me, so my name is Basma Lubbad, and I'm a certified life coach, and I'm also a scholar in the psychology of Qur'an. So I like to discuss Qur'an in a way that we can see the reflection of it on our daily life and see how we can benefit from it. And apply it as something that is talking to us rather than just the ayah or the verses has been happen in old ages. No, it's something we can really use and we can really live by. So this is the main aim or my purpose in doing these type of sessions in the psychology of Quran, and also understanding how it can reflect on our mental health or on our psychological state, how we can benefit from it to be a better Muslims, a better worshipper, and take the benefit of, out of it and see the wisdom behind all of these ayahs and reflect upon it, because Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala ordered us to do reflection and use our mind. أَفَلَا يَتَدَبَّرُونَ أَفَلَا يَتَفَكَّرُونَ. So this is one of the things that we're trying to do, is applying this order of Allah, trying to talk to our mind, trying to believe in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and worship Him out of being really convinced by using and researching and looking forward and following the orders of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala out of not only from our heart but also from our mind, after doing the research, doing the things, because Allah created us this mind to think and to use it and to meditate and to reflect, and from that we will have inshallah a stronger belief to follow what Allah asks us to follow. So in the last session, by the way, so now I'm gonna discuss some of the last page of Surah Al-Kahf from ayah number 98. And then at the end, I will open the floor for a discussion. Anyone have questions? Anyone have something to add to? I'm gonna open the floor for you to participate and listen from each other and learn from each other. So please bear with me if you would like to share this, to participate in this discussion. We will have time at the end of the session, inshallah. Okay, so we reach ayah number 98. Yeah. So we were talking about the story of Ya'juj and Ma'juj the last time, and how the Qur'an helped the other people to build a wall, and this wall would prevent them from the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj to destroy the land they are in. So we talked about Ya'juj and Ma'juj very briefly last time. So there are certain type of people who, if they come into a place, they will do destruction. They will harm lots of things within the environment, the people, the community, the earth, the planets, and stuff like this. So that's why Allah sent Dhul Qarnayn to these people who were like very poor intellectually and very poor on how to figure a solution for them. So Allah sent Dhul Qarnayn to help them build this wall until the day of judgment. So the day of judgment, this wall is gonna go out. It's gonna be fall down. And then this is what's gonna happen. And subhanAllah, there is a hadith, Prophet Muhammad said that Ya'juj and Ma'juj is gonna try to open this wall every day, a little bit. They're gonna make a hole in it, trying to break it through. But each day, this hole will gonna go away, and then they will need to start again in the next day, until the time of the day of judgment. this hole will start to be bigger and bigger, will not go from it, it will not go away. And then eventually they will put it down. Okay? And this is will be one of the big signs of the day of judgment. So here Allah saying, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم قال هذا رحمة من ربي فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا وكان وعد ربي حق. So here he said, this is a mercy from Lord or from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So having this wall is actually a mercy from Allah till the day of judgment, because if it's got open or went down, like there is gonna be lots of destruction and lots of people gonna get hurt. فإذا جاء وعد ربي جعله دكا. But when Allah's order or promise is come or has been fulfilled, which is the day of judgment, Allah is gonna do this barrier or this wall dakka. Dakka in Arabic is something that is in the same level of the earth. You know, there is an ayah when the mountain's gonna be dakka, like the mountain's gonna be in the same level of earth, how it's gonna be destroyed. Okay, so dakka is like a massive degree of destruction, of like it's gonna be going down. وَكَانَ وَعْدُ رَبِّي حَقًّا. And Allah's road or my words, Allah's promise is always come true. So, and as we know, like there is no, one of the main thing for you as a Muslim or as a believer to believe in the day after or the day of judgment. And this is a promise from Allah that it's gonna come and everyone will be raised from death. Everyone gonna be accounted for whatever he done. And then at that time, we'll see who will go to Jannah and who will go to hellfire. Okay, so Allah is delaying this day till the day of judgment for certain reasons. Okay, and then at the day of judgment, there's gonna be a big signs. So there is big signs of the day of judgment, and then there's small signs. Most of the small signs already happened. There's a big signs, and there is a hadith, Prophet Muhammad ﷺ, that who will witness the big signs is the one who is wrongdoer, the one who's not good worshipper or a good believer. So there is lots of other signs to discuss. Also the sun when it comes from the east, and then the dabba, which is also the animals that gonna go out. And I'm not gonna go too much in details of it because it's a little bit gonna take lots of time. But again, Allah is trying to tell us that there is something that Allah will delay for a certain amount of time for specific reasons. And subhanallah, yani, this is the thing that we're gonna discuss in the summary after the summarization of the Surah Al-Kahf. Lots of the stories we went through in Surah Al-Kahf is actually indicating like there should be, we always need to have patience. And Allah always trying to tell us to trust His plan. He has a certain plan. This plan, you will know why it's happened at that time. So sometimes, even if you don't know something, you need to be patient and trust Allah that Allah is the best planner for you. And certain thing you might not know the reason behind it or the wisdom behind it. But when you have this faith and this belief that Allah always tries to write the best thing for you, you will have this peace and tranquility just to trust in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala and doing tawakkul. Then in the next ayah, Allah saying, وَتَرَكْنَا بَعْضَهُمْ يَوْمَئِذٍ يَمُوجُ فِي بَعْضٍ وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَجَمَعْنَاهُمْ جَمْعًا. So Allah here is saying on that day, which is the day of judgment, we're gonna let everyone, this is before the day of judgment, sorry. This is one of the big signs before, very close to the day of judgment. So at that time when this wall gonna go out, we're gonna, on this day, we shall make them mix with each other. So يموج في بعض, يموج in Arabic is coming from mawj. Mawj is a wave, okay, like the ocean wave or sea wave. Okay, so subhanallah, see how Allah using this as a metaphor that at that time all of these people gonna mixed up with each other, doing destruction, doing lots of harm, which is the people of Ya'juj and Ma'juj, because we described them in the previous session that they are people who, whenever they come on a place, they will destruct things. Okay, so at that time, when this wall is gonna go, everything's gonna go down, everything is gonna go messed up. Okay, so subhanallah, how Allah using Yamuju is similar to the waves of the sea and oceans, how it gets mixed up together, how it's like hitting each other, each wave with the other one. And this is the beauty of the verses in Quran, subhanallah. وَنُفِخَ فِي الصُّورِ فَجَمَعْنَاهُم جَمْعًا. And at that time, there's the sign, the main sign of the day of judgment is there is gonna be an angel who will blow in the horn. So it will produce a large amount of sound, and this sound is to wake up all the dead people for the day of judgment. Okay, فَجَمَعْنَاهُمْ جَمْعًا, and we shall gather them all together. So at that time, everyone is going to be present. Everyone is going to wake up from death. Everyone is going to come to the day of judgment, to the day of knowing did he do good or do bad. Is the day to be accountable for all your deeds. Okay? وعرضنا جهنم يومئذ للكافرين عرضا. And at that day, we will show the hellfire to the disbeliever. عرضنا is like, it's like they're seeing it in front of them. It's like they're projecting something and they're seeing it in front of us, in front of them. So at that day, the disbeliever will know what the result of their deeds. They will know where they are going. They will see hellfire in front of them. So they will not get surprised. They will not just say, oh, then suddenly we'll be put in hellfire. No, they will see it and know. And then it's not only the physical punishment, or it's also the psychological or the mental punishment. When you see where you are going, when you see where you're going to end up. So they will start to be afraid even before they get into hellfire. Okay? And here Allah in the next ayah gonna explain who are these people, who are these, how do they, what type of things they did, these disbeliever, who the punishment they will get as a hellfire. Allah is saying in ayah number 101, الذين كانت أعينهم في غطاء عن ذكري وكانوا لا يستطيعون سمعا. And this is a very beautiful ayah. Yani, this is when I did the reflection, it's so deep. I'm gonna go with you through it. So Allah is saying these people who are disbeliever, who gonna be punished with this hellfire, they used to have eyes were blind from dhikri. Dhikri, we said, the dhikr Allah is remembering Allah, not only doing tasbih, istighfar, and so on, but remembering also Allah in everything in your life. Remembering His ayat, His miracles, His everything around you. When you see a reflection of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala in it. Okay? So, subhanallah, in this ayah, Allah saying, الَّذِينَ كَانَتْ أَعْيُنُهُمْ فِي غِطَاء. He said, where their eyes were in something, غِطاء is something covering. Okay? He didn't say that they have a cover over their eyes. He said their eyes were inside of something, were covering or cover them to see anything else. It's like when you imagine it, it's like they put themselves in a dark box that prevent them from seeing different things. They didn't have a blindfold, like covering their eyes. No, they were inside of something that prevent them or make cause them to have a barrier between seeing other stuff. Okay, subhanallah. And when I think about it, it's like it's very interesting because subhanallah, in the previous ayah, Allah is saying that وَعَرَضْنَا, is they gonna see the hellfire now. They have no escape. They have no option other than seeing this hellfire. Where in the life dunya and hayat dunya, they couldn't see. Okay? They put themselves in a places that they won't be able to see. Okay? And subhanAllah, this is, I think, it's the extreme level of disbelieving, the extreme level of kufr, is that sometimes you might see neglect an ayah of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or neglect a sign that Allah will send you, or neglect listening to something to guide you into the right pathway to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And then the next time you listen, or the next time you repent, or you ask forgiveness or something. But a disbeliever who continuously ignoring the ayahs and verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, or the signs to go back to Allah, they end up in a place which is very dark, that they cannot even receive the sign of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. They cannot receive the calling of Allah that to guide them back. So, and they cause it to themselves. It's not like, yeah, they end up in this side of it because of a repetitive neglecting of the ayahs or the signs that Allah send you. You end up not even given a chance or a possibility, the guidance of Allah to reach you. And it's like an extreme degree of kufr, this extreme degree of like the end phase of really not paying attention, or not opening your heart, or having this connection with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even after many signs, we says Allah always send us sign to repent, always give us chances to ask for forgiveness, always trying to help us to go back to the right pathway before the punishment comes to us, before something big happen to us. But if you persist in doing the sin, or persist of not listening, you will end up that the receptive that you have for guidance, or for to listen to Allah, or any type of signs that Allah send you, it will stop working. You will not have it anymore. It's like it doesn't work anymore, because you went too long and so many times not listening to what Allah trying to reach you and connect with you, but you're trying to neglect it and ignore it. So you end up in a very dark place, that even if you want to see, you will not be able to see. Even if you want to have insights, you will not be able to insight, because you put yourself in a coverage. I think this is a little bit deep, but subhanAllah, this is the thing in Qur'an, subhanAllah ta'ala, is nothing comes just by coincidence, or nothing comes, it has so much meaning, even in one letter. Like the one letter that guide me is fi. Fi is within, or in something. So they are within a coverage, within something covering, not they have a coverage over their eyes. So it's very interesting when we think even in one ayah has many other meanings, and it differ from each one of us. And how is it connected that at the time they choose not to see, they will be forced to see in the day after. And see what? They're gonna see the hellfire. They're gonna see the punishment that they will try to neglect and ignore and not acknowledge in their hayat al-dunya. So subhanAllah, see how beautiful Allah is trying to describe a scene for us, and how is it really connected between our life in hayat al-dunya and in the life after. Then subhanAllah, Allah also saying وَكَانُوا لَا يَسْتَطِيعُونَ سَمْعًا, and those they were not able to hear. It's not able, actually, they could not hear. يَسْتَطِيعُونَ here is being able or cannot. Like even it's not want. They might want to hear, but they cannot hear. Okay? So it's the ability. They don't have this ability to do it, even if they want it. They don't have the ability to hear. So subhanAllah, when you think about it, is like, again, they might want something, but they will not even be able to listen because of so much darkness, so much neglecting, so much rejection of the right pathway or the signs from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, that even though uh, they want to listen, they will not be able to listen. And this is really, really something interesting. And this is another thing I reflect upon, is why Allah mentioned their eyes before their hearing. Um, Subhanallah, one thing, maybe it could be one of the reasons, like as of my reflection, is the eye is related to insight. Like we're trying to see thing. Sometimes you might see thing, and then the after hearing about it, you will understand it more. You might give a first impression or a first interpretation about something by seeing it first, and then after you hear it, you will understand it more. So it might be this is one of the things, like because of their eyes were covered or they couldn't see, so even their hearing, they couldn't even hear. So and again, Allah connected their eyes with his dhikr. عيونهم في غطاء عن ذكري. So our eyes guide us to see Allah and remember Allah and see his ayahs and his signs in everywhere, and have this connection, have this sila, ittisal with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And from that, it's like our eyes opening our heart. And then when we listen, let's say for Quran or for verses or any type of things, we will be more receptive to whatever comes, whatever knowledge we have, whatever things that really sit down in our heart. So subhanallah, see how our senses are very connected. And in lots of ayah, you can see sometimes Allah mentioned the hearing before the sight. Sometimes Allah mentioning the hearts before al-afida, al-qulub, the hearts, you know. So subhanallah, each ayah, when Allah mentions something before the other thing, that means it has a connection, it has a deeper meaning behind it. Why Allah mentioned this one before the other one. And subhanallah, even in studies, they found out like certain type of things, like about senses, that has been mentioned actually in Quran in a specific order or so on. And this is one of the miracle of Quran and the word of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay. So again, like this is one of the reflection I went through in this ayah, and I feel like if we give it more time, I think it's also much, much deeper to reflect upon. But one of the things that I really was amazed a little bit is that every one of us has a receptive place for Allah's word, Allah's saying. Some people you can tell them or try to advise them or give them the, but Allah said in this ayah, and Allah said, like in a very gentle way, but you will see them neglected or just ignore it. You will know that even they're perceptive, when you don't exercise something, like when you don't exercise a certain muscle, this muscle start not to work anymore, or it became useless. It's same thing, like when you already shut down this receiver or receptive place in your heart, then will be no longer, it does not gonna benefit you anymore because it's not receiving any signal anymore. So subhanallah, this is the thing, is that we try to always remember and keep it open to accept and receive the signs Allah send us, accept and receive what Allah trying to tell me, what Allah trying to guide me toward, to what have this connection. And subhanallah, this is the meaning of salah, this is the meaning of sila, connection, to always have this connection with Allah, so this receptive will not go out of work, will not shut down. And this is why we pray 5 times a day, to keep working out, or exercising this muscle of connecting to Allah. This is why we need to do dhikr, remembering Allah, because it will keep us always connected to Allah. It will keep this channel open between us and Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. So again, this is one of the way to think about it, one of the way that we can reflect upon it, and one of the way that make us a really strong believers and prevent us, inshallah, from going to hellfire. Okay. The other ayah, Allah is saying in ayah number 102, أفحسب الذين كفروا أن يتخذوا عبادي من دوني أولياء إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. So Allah here is saying, did the one who disbelieve, they think that they can take my worshipper or my servant, عبادي, without me as a wali, okay? Wali here, we mentioned it a couple of times, is like someone who you seek refugee or protect you. Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, one of his names is Al-Wali, who protect us, who we seek him for a protection, for guidance. You know, like a wali al-amr is like your father is your wali, or who will take care of you, or he is in charge of the things that make your life easier and safer and so on. So Allah is our wali, okay? So if you try, like the people who is a disbeliever or who are doing shirk, they will seek someone else to be their wali other than Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Okay? And they definitely gonna fail out of it. So Allah here is saying, do you think that these who's disbelievers gonna take my worshipper, my servant, as a wali without me? Okay? They will never succeed, definitely. It's like Allah is asking this question, is like, this question is like, you know, like, do you think that? But you know, the answer is definitely not. إنا أعتدنا جهنم للكافرين نزلا. We have prepared the hellfire for the disbeliever as a resting place. Nuzula is something, an accommodation, a place you're gonna stay. And this is and you're gonna stay here forever. Okay. And Jahannam here, by the way, this is one degree of hellfire. So there is different different degrees of hellfire. There is Jahannam, there is Jahim, there is I forget the other one, I think, but there is many different hellfires, as there is many difference in Jannah. Like we have Firdaus al-A'la and so on and so on. Okay, so the people who trying to make other people worship them, okay, or make other people think that they are their wali, their place in the life after will be Jahannam. Okay, and subhanallah, this one is not only about, you know, like worshiping like al-asnam, or worshiping, you know, as a long time. You can have another wali beside Allah or without Allah, even sometimes without being aware to it. So sometimes if you are looking to how can I explain it? Let's say, like, if you want this protection, or you think that, for example, your boss is your wali, that he is the one who can protect you from poverty. He is the one who is in charge because of your salary. So you really devoted to him. You are really thinking that he is the one who can give you rizq or give you money without Allah. So now you're actually a disbeliever. Now you're actually choosing a wali other than Allah. So subhanallah, this is a very important thing, is that how we think, or like we need to see that everything that comes to us is the origin of it is Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Everyone else is just a messenger. Everyone is playing a role to fulfill something that Allah has wrote for you, Allah has sent for you. And the more you realize this, the more you will have a bigger faith in Allah, because you're connected to an original source of all the blessings, not to the means, or to the messenger, or to the one the one who's delivering this thing from Allah. And this is why it's very important. It's not, again, like just worshiping someone else. No, it's the idea, it's the mindset, is how do you see it, the perspective that you have toward people, toward things. Maybe you feel like, yeah, my home give me safety, but who give you that home? Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. If you think that your home is the one that really give you that safety without Allah, this is also shirk. This is also kufr, because you forget the main origin. And this is also, you remember what we mentioned in Surah, the two men with the two farms, the two gardens. We're going to also back to it later on in the end, in the summary. So this is one way to see it. This is one way to reflect it in your daily life. Like, what are the things that you think they your wali without Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala al-wali? Okay? Then Allah is saying, قُلْ هَلْ نُنَبِّئُكُمْ بِالْأَخْسَرِينَ أَعْمَالًا. Allah is saying, for Prophet to say, shall we tell you who has the most to lose, or who are the losers in their action? أخسرين أعمالا. أخسرين is not like الخاسرين. خاسرين is the one who lose. الأخسرين is like the extreme degree of unsuccessful one, or the losers in this one, who do certain type of work. أخسرين أعمالا. So they do effort, they do stuff, they do actions, but they actually losing. They're not winning out of it. Okay. الذين ضل سعيهم في الحياة الدنيا وهم يحسبون أنهم يحسنون صنعا. They are the one who their effort or their sa'i is actually misguided or misled, okay, in a wrong place in the life, in حياة الدنيا, in the life dunya. وهم يحسبون, and they think that they are doing a good work. Okay. Okay. So this one also a very deep one. So we have, as we said, all our life we're doing sa'i, we're doing effort, we're doing work, something, an action to achieve certain goal. Okay. It could be a job, it could be a relationship, it could be something. All our life is about goals. Like, we have something, we're looking forward to it, we will do the work for it. Any type, the smallest one or the biggest one. So some people who do this effort and they think, yeah, I'm doing good, this is the right thing, and all my life I have been working hard to achieve this goal. And then they think they're doing a good job, but actually they are the one who is gonna lose eventually. All of these effort and sa'i will go away. Okay. And let me go back, let me go to the next ayah, then I'll explain more in it. So then Allah is saying, أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه. Okay, so who are these people? Allah is saying those are who disbelieve in Allah, in the ayahs of Allah, the verses of Allah, the signs of Allah that Allah gave him, and deny the meeting of Allah. So when we think about it, it's like they also deny the day of judgment, the life after, because at that time we're gonna meet Allah, we're gonna have this judgment day. So who are these people who have kufr or disbelief of the signs that Allah sent, the verses, the miracles, everything that Allah sent us as a proof of his that Allah is the one, and of meeting Allah, and which also indicate the life after. So all فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. So all of their deeds that they thought they are good deeds, it's actually gonna come to nothing. فحبطت is like something full, like a balloon. It's big, but inside is empty. So when you blow it up, it's like, it's nothing. It goes away. So this is like, you think you're doing lots of good deeds, but it's for nothing. It's actually doesn't worth anything. فَلَا نُقِيمُ لَهُمْ يَوْمَ الْقِيَامَةِ وَزْنًا. So at the day of judgment, we will not actually, all of these deeds is gonna have no weight. because at the day of judgment, our sins and then our good deeds, it has like a scale. The more you have good deeds, the more you have this weight in the scale, which you're gonna be rewarded. So at that time, they think that they did a good job, but actually, it was nothing. It doesn't worth anything. Okay, and this is bring us to something called sa'i. So sa'i, or the effort that we have, there is something in Quran called sa'yan mashkura, a sa'i that is gonna be rewarded or thanked for it. Okay, and there is another type of sa'i which is here ضل سعيهم. That sa'i that you're gonna be lost or misled, or it will be in um how can I say it, like in a road that it's not gonna benefit you. This effort that you do is for nothing. It's not gonna come back with anything good to you. And this is one of the secrets I'm gonna give you. It's like the difference between the good effort and the bad effort, or let's say that the effort is gonna be rewarded, the effort is gonna be worth nothing. Okay. One of the things that you want to pay attention to whenever you're doing sa'i for something, whenever you do some effort to achieve certain goal in your life, if this goal does not uh, satisfy or for the sake of Allah eventually, then this is considered from the part of ضل سعيهم. That's gonna worth nothing. So the sa'i al-mashkur is the effort that you do toward a goal that fulfill a values that Allah asks you to work for, fulfill something, or toward Allah's satisfaction in something, Allah's order, to achieve an order Allah telling, like in the sake of Allah, whatever it is, anything, any goal in life, anything in life, if you put it as it's something, yeah, only for me, or something does not relate to anything reward toward Allah, this is probably not a good sa'i, and it's not going to be rewarded. So the intention here is very important. Any type of work you do, even like, the sa'i is not, it's like a big effort. It could be like walking to visit someone, or a texting message, any type of things, like physical, or even something without that much of effort, without much of physical acts. But it's sa'i. Everything we do is sa'i, actually. If we have this sa'i without a good intention deeply, that maybe, for example, I explained it later before, that you want to look for jobs, okay? But why do you want job? I want job to gain money. Why do you want to gain money? To have fun and travel the world. Why do you want to have fun and travel the world? To be happy. Okay, why? Why? If the last why is not toward Allah, or for a reason, for a purpose toward Allah, or fulfilling one of the values that satisfy Allah, this is probably not sa'yan mashkura. And this is probably not gonna wait anything in the life after, on the day of judgment. So it's so important to have this intention of whatever sa'i you are doing, whatever goal you're put the goal, and then put in front of it, why am I achieving or looking or seeking this goal, and how this goal satisfy or can be for the sake of Allah eventually. This is how your sa'i became mashkura, or thankful, or rewarded, or has a weight in the life after, which you're gonna be rewarded for. Okay. So again, it's a big topic also about the different type of sa'i and how to do it. Maybe one day, inshallah, I'm gonna make a post upon it, or maybe talk about it in my podcast, Out of the Box. But it's a big deal. It's a very important point to focus on in life, that the things I'm doing, if I don't have a good intention for it, it really can go blown away. It doesn't worth anything. So the more you became aware, the more you became intentional about the things you do, and you do it for the sake of Allah, or to fulfill an order that He orders in the Quran, or to do something that might benefit others, that Allah asks us to do good deeds, or to do something as connected to Allah, the more the reward that you're gonna get, the more you preserve your energy. You're not wasting your time and effort into something that not really gonna benefit you in the life after. And subhanallah, it's a way for us, for Allah to tell us that uh, focus always on the life after, because it's the life that's gonna last. And there is many ayah Allah is saying. There is one ayah, it's a very beautiful ayah actually. وَمَنْ سَعَى سَعْيَهَا. I'm gonna search for it. Yeah, Allah is saying in Surah Al-Isra, ayah number 19, بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم, وَمَنْ أَرَادَ الْآخِرَةَ وَسَعَى لَهَا سَعْيَهَا وَهُوَ مُؤْمِنٌ فَأُولَٰئِكَ كَانَ سَعْيُهُمْ مَشْكُورًا. And who wanted the life after, and سَعَى لَهَا, he did the effort, or he did the sa'i, وَهُوَ مُؤْمِن, and while he is a believer. So they are the one who their sa'i, their effort, is gonna be thankful, or is gonna be rewarded, mashkura. So again, another thing, if you wanna learn about sa'i al-mashkur, which is the one that's gonna really weight in your scale in the life after, search for the name sa'iyan mashkura in the Quran. Search for the ayah of sa'i al-mashkur. It's so, like, subhanallah, Allah is telling us everything. Allah is, this is why Quran is Quran and Mubina. It's so clear. It give you, you want to be do sa'i mashkur, okay, do this and this and this, focus on this and this and this. Everything is in Quran. We just need to search and look for it. So this is one of the beautiful ayahs, really. And this is one of the ayah Allah is telling you how focus on the life after. Don't focus on the life dunya. Always make your intention, your purpose is toward the life after. And subhanallah, this is help you to detach for the hawa, the things that you might be less misled in the hayat dunya, the desires that might sometimes blind you for your main purpose. We are all here temporarily. No one's gonna live forever. No one's gonna last forever. We're here to do and to fulfill certain purpose and certain things, to learn certain stuff, and then the life after, and Jannah, inshallah, and heaven, all of us, we're gonna live there endlessly, forever. So which one worth more focus? Which one more needs more to have to build plans for, to work for, is the one that's gonna last more. So, and many ayahs Allah trying to remind us in this one. That's why when you have your goal with the intention for something in the life after, you will continuously be reminded of it, because while doing the sa'i, you're actually remembering the life after. You're remembering Allah. You're doing the dhikr. You're connected, and everything else, whether you fail, whether you succeed in achieving this goal, does not matter, because what Allah is mentioning, sa'i, the effort, the road, the journey, not the destination, not the result, not the outcome. You're gonna be rewarded for the sa'i, not whatever you succeed or failed. This is what's gonna be weighted in your scale in the life after, and the day of judgment. And this is so beautiful, because no one have control over the result, but I have control over the effort and the sa'i I'm doing toward achieving this goal. So, okay, then so this is another thing. If you want to ask yourself, try to ask any type of goal you're trying to achieve currently in your life. Ask yourself, what type of thing does it fulfill for the sake of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala? How can I make this goal, when I achieve it or when I'm trying to do it, is something that Allah will be satisfied of. That's something that Allah ordered me, maybe an order or an ayah Allah sent to me for it. So try to connect them. You will definitely find the connection. Definitely. Always connect to this. And subhanAllah, when you have this intention, I believe that Allah will fasten the coming of this goal. Because you connected to Allah, you connected to the purpose of Allah, to the sake of Allah. I believe it's gonna be like much easier, much yusr. And in Arabic we call it yusr. It's not easier as much as like easygoing, you know. You can achieve it more. Maybe Allah will send you people to help you to achieve it because you have this intention for it for the sake of Allah. And you can see lots of miracles and signs. Allah help you to achieve it once you just put it for the sake of Allah. Okay. So again, I'll give you an example. Like again, the example we mentioned about work. So maybe you want to have work and to have money and salary, so you can do more charity. You can help other people. You can help your family. You can, for example, be able to make a big effect or influence, positive influence on people, and the money will help you to do so. For example, so everything is possible to connect it or to put an intention to it toward Allah. Then in the next ayah, Allah is saying, أولئك الذين كفروا بآيات ربهم ولقائه فحبطت أعمالهم فلا نقيم لهم يوم القيامة وزنا. Yeah, this one we already mentioned. So these are the people who forget the ayahs and the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Ayat is not only verses, by the way. Ayat is like the sign, the things that remind us of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. وَلِقَائِهِ. So when you put in the intention for the day after or for the meeting Allah, for the signs of Allah, you will always gonna be connected to Allah. So you will not be a disbeliever of these ayahs. You get the point of it? And then eventually your work or your effort will not be حبطت, which is like gone away, blown away. ذلك جزاؤهم جهنم بما كفروا واتخذوا آياتي ورسلي هزوا. These are the reward. Jahannam is gonna be whatever they have and of these disbelievers, and who took my ayahs, the verses or the signs that I sent, and my messengers. Okay, huzwa. Huzwa is like mocking, you know, like they didn't believe in it. It's like, yeah, it's not true. It's not real. It's nothing. So they take it very lightly and they didn't believe in it. These also the people who gonna be eventually in hell. Okay. Then in the next ayah, Allah is saying, إن الذين آمنوا وعملوا الصالحات كانت لهم جنات الفردوس نزلا. Those who believe and do good deeds will be given the gardens of paradise. جنات الفردوس نزلا. Nuzula here, as we mentioned, is a place that you're gonna stay forever in it, or like you're gonna really live in it. So Allah is saying, if you want to give the Firdaus, and by the way, Firdaus is the nearest place in heaven to Allah's throne, إلى عرش الرحمن. Okay, the Arsh al-Rahman, or the throne of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, under it is al-Firdaus. So this is also Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam always asks us to ask Allah al-Firdaus. It's like the highest place in heaven, and it's a very special place. Imagine you're in the nearest place to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. How beautiful it is. So Allah is saying, people who stay there or who are going to be rewarded with Jannatul Firdaus is the people who believe and did good deeds. That's it. You need to be a believer. You need to do good deeds. Then your home in the life after will be Jannatul Firdaus. Very simple, very easy. May Allah inshallah all of us reward us with Jannat al-Firdaus. Okay? But خالدين فيها لا يبغون عنها حولا. خالدين, الخلود, which is staying forever. They will remain in it and they will never wish to leave. لا يبغون عنها حولا. حولا is like changing. حول, يتحول الشيء in Arabic is like changing from something to something else or transfer. So they won't even want to change the place. So it gives us an indication they will never get bored. They will never want an alternative. Because in Jannah, everything you want, you get. Everything, something new is gonna happen. Something new you're gonna get. A new blessing, a new things you're gonna enjoy in heaven. Subhanallah, this is one of the things, or the characteristic of, let's say, the things that you're gonna have in heaven. And Prophet Muhammad also talked about it. ما لا عين رأت ولا أذن سمعت. You will see things that you've never experienced before. So you will never get bored. You will never say, okay, I want to change. I want to go somewhere else. It's never gonna happen. And you will stay there forever. Then Allah is telling us, قل لو كان البحر مدادا لكلمات ربي لنفد البحر قبل أن تنفد كلمات ربي ولو جئنا بمثله مددا. Allah is telling Prophet Muhammad sallallahu alaihi wasallam, tell them that if the sea was the ink, or the ink that be used to write the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, it would run out. It would not be enough before the word of Allah end. Like it's not gonna be enough for the words of Allah. And even if you brought another sea or another, the sea is the ink, to try to write it, it will also not gonna be enough. Subhanallah. And this is the beauty of Allah. It's like unlimited. The beauty of the words of Allah, the beauty of the wisdom, the beauty of the signs and ayahs and verses. It's not gonna be limited. It's something we cannot even imagine. Even if we think that the sea is so big, the ocean is so big, how come if we use it as an ink, it's Allah trying to tell us that even with our minds and how Allah give us this ability of thinking, Allah is above of all of that, subhanahu wa ta'ala. He is above of our imagination or our limited thinking, because we compare it with sea. But Allah is much bigger than the sea, much bigger. The words of Allah is much bigger than the sea. And subhanallah, He's using the sea to make it much closer, metaphor, an example that we try to comprehend. But even with that, it's much bigger than this. Subhanallah. And it's very beautiful. I love how Allah trying to give us this metaphor so beautifully. It's like an explanation. When you try to explain to a kid and you tell him, yeah, it looks like this, the sun is like something circle or something. You try to give them another example to make it much easier for them to understand. But it's a very beautiful way. It's not like just an example. No, it's a beautiful made example. Subhanallah. And this is the beauty of Qur'an. So Allah is saying that even if the sea was ink, it will not be enough for the words of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Even if you bring another sea. Then, in the last ayah of Surah Al-Kahf, Allah is saying, قُلْ إِنَّمَا أَنَا بَشَرٌ مِثْلُكُمْ يُوحَى إِلَيَّ أَنَّمَا إِلَهُكُمْ إِلَهٌ وَاحِدٌ. Allah is telling Prophet Muhammad, tell them, I'm only a human being, like you. I'm just مثلكم يوحى إلي, but who have a revelation from Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this revelation states that your God is an only one God. Okay? So here is a beautiful thing that Allah asking Prophet Muhammad to remind us that he is only a human. And this human being is similar to us. He has only one quality, that Allah is sending him revelation through angels and so on in the Quran. But he like us. He is our role model. And this is why, subhanallah, Allah is mentioning, there is one ayah, like if we were angels, Allah would send a messenger as an angel. But because we're human, Allah sent the messenger of human. Because imagine if he's angel and he did all of these, then we said like, he's not like us. We cannot follow him. We cannot be guided by him because he's different. But Allah sent us one from us, similar to us. بشر مثلكم. Okay? To be able to say, yeah, Prophet Muhammad pray like this, I'm gonna pray like this. He asked us to do this is the better thing, then I will do like this. And this is so beautiful that you will not feel like he has qualities. Allah give him certain type of traits to have this revelation from Allah and to receive the book and to be a messenger of Allah and take him as a role model. But he's also a human. And also this is another reason for people in Christianity or so on not to worship humans. He's only a messenger. He's not God. He's only have this connection, this revelation from Allah, but he's still like you. بشرا مثلكم. Okay? And the message that he came to is that your God is one God. فمن كان يرجو لقاء ربه فليعمل عملا صالحا ولا يشرك بعبادة ربه أحدا. So whoever was hoping to meet his Lord, Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, you want to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, فليعمل عملا صالحا. Let him do a good deed. Don't have shirk or associate Allah, worshiping Allah with someone else. And that's it. You will meet Allah. You will meet God. Whoever hoped to meet Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, let him do a good deed. Let him not worship anyone else by Allah, and he will be rewarding of seeing Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. And this is one of the biggest rewards you will get in the life after, inshallah, if we all go to heaven. The time we see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, the time we meet him, the time we look at him, this would be the most beautiful reward. Other than everything in heaven, other than any blessing or any rewards you can get, the rivers, the blessing, the fruits, like all the things in heaven, it will not brought you joy and happiness the same degree as when you see Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. When you see the one you have been always talking to, when you see the one who was always there with you from the day you was born, from the day you were lonely, from the day you were with lots of people around you, from the day of your darkest moment, from the day of the difficult time in your life, he was there, but you never see him. He was there with you always, listening to you, answering your prayer, answering the things that you're trying to connect with him. He Ta'ala without seeing him. You believed in Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala from the verses, from the ayah, from the signs. And eventually you saw him. So subhanallah, this is the most joyful moment, the most amazing blessing you can have, or reward you can have after all of this. So subhanallah, I think we took 1 hour now with this one. Okay, so I'm gonna do now a very fast summarization of Surah Al-Kahf, and then I'm gonna open the floor for the discussion, inshallah. So you can grab your Mus'haf, your Qur'an. I'm gonna go through it very briefly. Just to mention like a general ideas about or what Allah trying to tell us. Why did Allah recommended us to or ask us to read Surah Al-Kahf every Friday? What type of things we need to be kept reminded every week, every Friday? Why is it so important? Why also Allah is telling us to there is a hadith that Allah is saying if you memorize the first 10 ayahs of Surah Al-Kahf to prevent you from the fitna of Al-Masih al-Dajjal. So it definitely have something. Why Allah mentioned 3 different stories in the surah. Let me just open it. If you have a Quran, please open it with me so you can follow up. I'm gonna mention the number of ayahs so we can go through it, or you can write it down also and go back to it later on. Okay. So in the beginning of the surah, Allah emphasizes on talking about the book, which is the Qur'an. Okay, and subhanallah, he ended the surah also with the Quran. We're talking about ayatullah, the verses of Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, and emphasizing on worshipping only one God. Subhanallah, it's like the beginning of the surah and the end of it is very similar. Allah was talking about in the ayah number 2 is like يبشر الذين يعملون الصالحات أن لهم أجرا حسنا. The people who do good deeds, they're gonna be rewarded in a very good way. At the end of the surah, Allah repeated the same thing, like with the Jannat al-Firdaus and so on. And this is the beauty, like how Allah is trying to tell us a story. And there is, I remember I took a course in storytelling from the CNN, and they always similar, like they said, emphasize in the introduction in the beginning is connected to the ending. Always you need to, like whatever you start with, you need to finish similar thing or similar point. So, and this is so beautiful, like it's already there mentioned in the Quran and the surahs of Quran. Okay, then Allah mentioned the story of the young boys who went into the cave, and then after 309 years, they went up, they were running away from the people who disbelieve, and to seek shelter, they went into the cave. And then after 309 years, they slept and they will be awaking, and then they found that all their people became believers because of them, or Allah make them ameen that all their people were believing them because of as a mean because of them. So subhanallah, this is one of the things that tell us sometimes we need an isolation, we need a special time between us and Allah, and maybe whatever we think it's bad thing for us or something unfair to run away from something, maybe it's actually a good thing for you. Maybe Allah is planning for you something so big, and maybe with simple act you do, it has a big influence without knowing. So I don't know if you know about the butterfly effect, which is like the wave of the butterfly can actually cause a tsunami. So subhanallah, sometimes a very small act of good deeds you might do, you might not see the reflect of it, you might not see what could cause, but actually can cause a big difference in people's life and so on. So never ever neglect a small act of good deed or doing a hasana or something, and always trust the plan of Allah. If Allah put you in a different place, if Allah shift you from a different direction than what you wanted, maybe it's for the best of you, and then maybe you will know it, not after 309 years, but you will eventually know. Or even if you don't know, if you have the trust that Allah always write the best for you, so this will be enough. And this is one of the things to be reminded of in Surah Al-Kahf. The next story is the story of the 2 people in the 2 men who had one of them had 2 farms. Okay, in ayah number 32, وَاضْرِبْ لَهُمْ مَثَلَ الرَّجُلَيْنِ جَعَلْنَا لِأَحَدِهِمَا جَنَّتَيْنِ. And this story guides us to reflect the ego. Reflect even if you have lots of wealth, lots of blessing, lots of a higher status in life or so on. If you didn't connect it to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, if you were not thankful or seeing that Allah is the one who gave it to you, it can go away in one day. It can go away in a second. It's like it doesn't belong to you. It belongs to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala. Allah give it to you and Allah can take it from you anytime. If you didn't be appreciative, if you didn't believe that Allah is the main origin of it. So again, and this is another story that of controlling our ego, focusing our ego. Like our ego sometimes became so fake. It doesn't have a good foundation. It just gives us, yeah, I have money, yeah, I have status, yeah, I'm pretty, I have job, I have this titles and stuff. But it's actually empty inside if it's not from Allah. You need to know that it's all from Allah. Your ego will not last because everything is given by Allah. Everything is controlled by Allah. You don't think that he thought that these two farms, he is the one who worked for it. He is the one who uh, um, have it. Yeah. Sure. I think we're gonna take much longer in this one. It's totally fine. Okay. So, um, so yeah, some people think, yeah, I made this happen. I'm the one who studied to get this degree. I'm the one who worked hard to have this successful business. I'm the one who have this worked on this farm. No, it's Allah. Allah is the one who guide you to do this. You only did the effort. If Allah didn't want you to do, everything can go down. You could never succeed. You could never graduate. You could never get this money or this job. So when you forget this one, everything gonna goes. When you keep reminded, keep being thankful, keep having an intention that I'm gonna make this one for the sake of Allah, then that's the time it's gonna last and flourish more. Okay, so this is a one wisdom that we can learn from the story of the two men with this stuff. Okay, dear, no problem. Thank you so much. The last story before we start the discussion is the story of Al-Khadr and Prophet Musa alayhi salam. So in his story, we learned from the story of the ship that they destructed, and then the boy who killed, and then the wall who they rebuilt in this village. All of them teach us that sometimes we see things and then we think, yeah, it's so bad, it's so negative, or it's a bad things to do, but eventually it turned out it's a good thing. So subhanallah, when I think about it, in general in Surah Al-Kahf, it's like it's all about not imagination or like a delusion, but life sometimes might seem certain way, but actually it means different things. And this is why subhanallah Allah said that life is like a game. Is like, you're entering an artificial thing, something, digital world or something. Something is not really real. Once it might go away, it might, you see it in the first while as something, but eventually when you go deeper, you see a different aspect or different angle in it. So in Surah Al-Kahf, uh, going away in a cave with this young boy who were afraid to be killed because they believe in God, you thought it's a very bad thing, it's a bad situation to be in, but it ended up the best thing happened because later on many people believe in God subhanahu wa ta'ala after them because they went into this cave because of this bad situation. And even in that story of the two men who think that, yeah, wealth and having farms and having this fruits and stuff is very beautiful. This is the good thing, but it's not a good thing if you don't believe in God, and it can go away directly in a second. And then you see like, yeah, hurting or making a flaw in the ship. It's a very bad thing to do to people. But then it was the best thing to prevent this ship from getting stolen from someone else. And they saved their source of income. And then killing this boy, it seems like you're killing innocent boy, but it's actually a good thing because he was causing so much harm for their parents, and Allah want to replace them with another kid who would be much better for them. And then in the building this wall, you think, but these people don't deserve it. They didn't feed us. They didn't treat us well. This village, why would we do good deed for them while it's not worth it? They don't deserve it. But actually, it's the best thing. You're doing a good deed for two orphanages that they're gonna save their treasure from their dad, that they're eventually gonna benefit from it. So, even in the story of the Qarnayn, like how Allah sent him to certain type of people and he tried to help them, like build the wall to prevent Ya'juj and Ma'juj, or the people who had no knowledge and they don't have coverage over because of the sun. So many of the things you feel like, why is it? It's like so weird. Why? It doesn't make sense, but actually it make perfect sense. So sometimes you might not know why you're going through this certain type of difficulties or a problem or a negative situation in general, but it's for your own benefit. There is a wisdom behind it. There is something you can learn. What can I do? Be patient and have a trust in Allah's plan. Have trust that if you always connected to Allah, if you always have tawakkul and depend on Allah, then you will have this peace of mind. You will not worry. You will not be extreme, sad, and resentful. You will not be extreme of any type of negative feeling because you know maybe there is something good behind it. Maybe Allah put me in this one for something I needed to learn. I needed to grow. I need to have something will end up happening to me in my own benefit. So I feel Surah Al-Kahf is trying to tell us this thing. Whatever you see from the exterior, if you zoom out and see it, you might see it so bad or so difficult or so hard. But it's actually, there is a good within it. There is a good thing for you in it. There is a positive inside what you thought it's a negative thing. And subhanAllah, maybe this is what Allah trying to remind us is like our perspective about life, our perspective about the things that we go through in life, how we, what type of glasses we need to wear while looking at our life and our things that we go through. Like it's always like think behind whatever you see, you know. I think this is in one of the Timon and Pumbaa movie, like, you know, this see behind the tree. I like this one. It's so wisdom. Like it's a good thing. Always look for the things behind the things that you seems you see. Don't take or don't judge things in the first sight. Be more acceptive and receptive to see what else, what other possibilities, what other option, what other answer, what other things that might Allah want me to do. Be open-minded to see it and to receive this insight. Then you will be able to see other possibilities, to see the good in the bad, to see the yusr in the usr. And subhanAllah, this is what Allah said, Inna ma'al usri yusra. With each difficulty, there is an ease. With it, it comes together. In the same problem, you will have the ease and the difficulty, but you choose which one you to focus on, the ease or the difficulty. They come both. Life is like this, black and white. You will have in every situation, black and white, negative and positive, but it's you who decide to focus on which side. This is like the yin and yang. Everything in life is like this. وَجَعَلْنَا مِنْ كُلِّ شَيْءٍ زَوْجَيْنِ. Allah created a couple of everything. Couple, some of the scholars, they said the negative and the positive, the black and the white. Everything comes in couples because Allah is the only one. Allah huwa al-wahid. Okay, but everything Allah created is out of couples in everything. So like a metaphor in energy form, or even like in life in general, like female and male, like even in fruits, even in animals, and so on. Okay, this is going too deep, but anyway. So this is it for Surah Al-Kahf, inshallah. And I'm gonna leave the place also for if you are in my WhatsApp group, or even here, if you wanna tell me what type of, you can leave in the comments what type of surah, which surah would you like us to discuss more next, inshallah. And now I'm gonna leave the floor for the discussion. Okay. I'm gonna stop the recording.